Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to get underway. If everyone can find their seats and remember to enjoy the show. Thank you.
So fantastic. Had such a good time, my fucking calves are on fire. Welcome to Coming of Age.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to you and yours. All of them. All of them. Every single one.
Welcome, guys. This is Coming of Age. It's a movie review podcast. We like to get a little wild, a little silly, and we're all in quarantine right now. And we're just going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little antsy. No, I'm just kidding.
Real good time.
Fucking antsy. God fucking damn it.
We got cabin
All the beer just keeps on disappearing. I swear. Anyways, we're talking about The Color Out of Space. One crashed to Earth and the other came from below. I'll let you guess which one is which. We got Chase Cummins and Dan Joplin.
What's
as your hosts.
Hey, nice intro there, buddy. That was a good one. Excellent.
You're a good one.
Oh.
And I'm Alan Loosebrock, and we're going to talk about a movie today, and we're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk about some other shit, too. And I hope that our one listener enjoys it very much. Hope you're still out there.
Shout out to the guy in Holland who maybe still listens to us.
You'd be like, oh, finally, a new episode.
They're French, not German.
Finally, Dusseldorfen.
Go put your finger in the dike.
Not the right accent.
Right, close enough. Finger in the dike, right? That's good.
You're close enough.
It's just one neo-Nazi that listens to us and he loves us. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, oh no. Oh
Uh-oh.
No. Oh no. We invite the fan to come out to LA with us. Like, whose house would he stay at? We don't live in LA. We live all over. And it's just a, come be on the podcast. And then he's just a Nazi when he shows up. Hello, I am here to stay with you. What the?
He's a German Nazi. That's even worse.
Oh, yeah, he's Nazi as fuck. He's just Nazi.
But then it's worse because then it's three of us to one of him. The ratio's off on like fan to who's the person that the fan's hanging out with. So it looks like we're the fans hanging out with the Nazi.
Yeah.
Usually it'd be more
Right.
celebs to fans, or more fans to celebs.
There's more fans to celebs, I think.
Yeah.
Got to find the right spin on that podcast, I guess.
Yikes. Oh, whoopsie daisy.
Holy shit. Well, what have you guys been watching lately? Anything fun or interesting or?
You mean besides the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
I suppose besides that, yes.
Yeah, I watched. I've got a whole slew of movies. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you can see what I'm watching in real time. Last night I watched a movie called Day for Night. That was fucking badass. If you like movies about making movies that are real funny, it's like a Wes Anderson movie long before Wes Anderson ever existed.
Holy shit. How long ago are we talking? 1920s, 1930s?
1972.
Okay, that's much better. I enjoy much better. Yeah. It's a silent film. It's just like Wes Anderson creeping around.
No. This was just like a Wes, like one of the main characters. He looks exactly like Jason Schwartzman from Rushmore. And he's just doing lots of, it's like they're working on a movie and things are going wrong. It's a Truffaut film. It's great. They won an Oscar. So everybody should watch it if they can. It's available on streaming services and shit. But other than that, no, I've been watching a lot of reality TV in this quarantine.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, lots of YouTube vids, primitive building videos. Those are great. Those are always fantastic. That's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
You do like those.
Yeah. Oh, I love those. But no, yeah, been watching a lot of PBS Eons. PBS, like their paleontology shit. Oh, that shit's fantastic. And I watch it with Sawyer because he's a kid and loves fucking dinosaurs.
Hell yeah, dude.
But
Do they have like subpar animation that's just like still like, whoa, you're not quite there, but it's cool.
No, they got actually a lot of like fucking cool like young grad student paleontologists and shit that do like really cool sketches and like some pretty cool animations actually. Check it out, guys, and make sure to support your local PBS station. They need the funds, and you'll get a free mug. I saw Wicker Man, not the Nick Cage Wicker Man, but the original
first
Wicker
one?
Man. Yeah. Oh my goodness, so many titties. I love that 70s, 60s, 70s titties. That's my only takeaway. Yep, that's it.
The titties is the only takeaway.
That's it.
The titties in the Wicker Man.
It was.
What are there bees in this one?
No,
as
there's
well?
no bees in this one. Actually, it's great. They're just like fucking pasty British pagans, you know.
Yep.
And
It's great.
It really. There's something about it that makes it feel even more like helpless and everything. Just the dude in it is this virgin detective, and he's just so like pious and fucking this is so lewd and disgusting and reprimanding everybody. And
It's like he's like super Christian, and he's
and just dumb at every fucking turn.
Oh yeah, it's all about like the pagan versus Christianity and like piety versus other non-piety, I guess.
Yeah,
worldliness.
But it was fantastic. The main guy, he was just like. He was so fashion forward and so like high society that it came across as comical and like not as horrific until the very end when he gets the tall guy with the hair, tall guy with the hair, yeah.
You talking about Saruman?
Oh my god,
dude,
yes.
Count Dooku.
Oh my god, damn it, yep. That's who I'm talking about. Jesus fucking Christ.
Have you heard of the movie Antrim?
No.
I think I found it on Shudder or Amazon, one of those. It might be on both. It's like a cursed film, like one of those fucking things, and it has like a little intro that like tells you about the history of like why it's fucking cursed. And and then like the film just plays, so it like sets you up to like be like, oh, this is scarier than it actually is. But it really did kind of get me. I didn't watch the entire film, but pretty like well made, beautiful film.
What's it called?
Antrim. Antrum. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know if it's actually a good movie. But I just I was alone at night, and I was like, let's watch something that's gonna be a little spooky. And I liked that it was like a little like woo woo and like fucking this is cursed. And I'm like, yeah, let's get into that vibe. And then I just fell asleep.
Have you guys ever seen Lake Mungo?
No.
What is that?
It's like an Australian horror movie, but it's like it's presented like it's a documentary, and it's like this girl goes missing at this lake, and then her body washes up like a couple days later, and then the family starts like experiencing weird things around their house, and the whole thing's done like it's a documentary like after the events of everything that happens. It's actually really fucking good though, like top tier.
Nice.
And it's like plays with your expectations a lot, because it's really good. I don't want to spoil it because I would like to talk to you guys about it sometime. But if you want to feel a little spooky and have a good time, you should definitely check it out. It's on Shudder.
From the name, I never would have guessed it was Australian. Mungo.
It's Australian or New Zealand. I don't. It's one of those places. Mungo.
Hell yeah, is Sam Neill in it?
No.
Oh, it's
Surprisingly.
too fucking bad, dude. I watched. I've been watching this show on Showtime that I didn't even know existed, and it's called "I'm Dying Up Here." And have you heard of it at all? Anyone? Mm-mm. It is a like show that takes place in the 70s at the Comedy Store. It's about like pretty much the rise of the Comedy Store, but they changed the name of it and everything. And it's produced by Jim Carrey. And it's got a bunch of fucking great people in it. It's got the what's his fucking name? Eric Griffin, you know, from Workaholics. He's like the what is he? The teacher or some shit. Oh, what is he? I can't even remember. Their neighbor. It's just fucking awesome. It's like a good show that's like a drama, and it's just about like comedians fucking coming up in the Comedy Store, but it's also fucking hilarious. It's got a great cast. Fucking Sebastian Stan is like
he's
in
great.
it for he just sets the tone and then gets the fuck out of there. And
Oh,
then,
really?
Lets the show just roll on. It's pretty great.
They couldn't
You should
afford
check
him.
it out. I don't know. He was in like 2 episodes. I don't know. He might be in some later ones because he was kind of like the backbone of what like he was the catalyst of the story, like kind of like sparked the whole thing.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm not going to tell you why,
Thank you.
but you should check it out. It's really good. I don't know that many people that have Showtime, but
I have it.
I would figure you probably do. Yeah.
I went and purged all of my subscriptions recently, but I kept Shudder and Showtime. And then I kept one that's like, because it's $2 a month, I kept one called Warriors and Gangsters, and it has a bunch of like action movies on it and shit. Yeah.
Warriors and Gangsters.
Yeah. It's,
How is that
that's
even?
It's the most dad channel like thing
It's-
to buy. Like
it's
$2
such a
fuck
dad
yeah.
channel. Yeah.
The-
$2
the
and
only-
it's
I
like
love it.
all the action movies.
The
Just,
only
like,
more
on
dad
shit.
channel would just be like an all Civil War documentary channel.
With a couple World War II
Oh.
documentaries mixed in.
Yeah, yeah.
Modern marvels. Hell yes.
Honey, bring me
God
the
damn,
bedpan.
I
I'm not
don't-
moving for 12 hours.
There's a new Ken Burns documentary. I'm not leaving the couch till it's done.
There's a series about bedpans on tonight, honey.
There's a
Where did bedpans come?
there's a new
Where did they come from?
there's a new series about Victorian archways that I have to watch.
Oh my God, so true.
How did
Dude,
this
watch
get
that
made?
shit, I'd-
Springs.
So fucking bored, dude. It's like flying buttresses. How do they come to be? Actually, I would totally watch that shit now. I totally get it.
I'd watch
We're
all
getting
those shows.
older, and I fucking get it.
I get it
so
now.
about it. I need to know. Well, anything else? Anything else to note of? Body Bags? Have you guys seen Body Bags?
No.
John Carpenter's Body Bags.
Ooh.
It's great. It's kind of like a 3-part series, different stories that makes up the whole movie. And it's sort of in the same realm as The Crypt, Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
Because John Carpenter plays like a weirdo, like mortician, with like a bunch of makeup on. And he's kind of like the Crypt Keeper. And he's like talking, like he's presenting the stories to you. And he's like drinking formaldehyde out of a martini glass. And he's like, "Hey, boys and girls," like, like it's,
John Carpenter
it's
is?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's awesome. All right. I'm going to watch that.
It's fantastic. And so there's 3 stories. Mark Hamill's in the last one, which is pretty interesting. What is it? Stacy Keach. Do you know who Stacy Keach is from like all the like Law and Order
Yes.
and shit? And then I don't even. There's a bunch of people from the first one. The main guy from An American Werewolf in London is in it.
Ooh.
Wes Craven is in it. It's pretty interesting. The middle part of it though is literally just a comedy. Like the whole fucking thing made me laugh so goddamn much. Like I was alone and I was just laughing my ass off, and I was like, damn, like this does not happen. So it's like it ends like a little horror, but really it's just having fun the whole time.
Okay.
It's great. It's so fucking good.
I'll check that
It's
out.
on Amazon and it's also on Shudder. It's on both.
Nice. I'm gonna check that out. Jordan and I watched
And since
this.
Dan just got a subscription,
Yeah, I anti-purged. I the opposite of purged my subscriptions. I accidentally bought another one for a goddamn year.
You're gonna forget that you did that, and in a year you're
I
gonna
know,
get used to
I know.
having Shudder, and you're gonna
I
have
know.
to renew it.
I thought about it at the time. I was like, I need to unsubscribe to this right now. But it was like a thing that I just happened to be checking my bank account, saw it like in the middle of doing something else, and then was just like, God damn it, and didn't have time to do it right then. And I'm thinking about it now, but I'm not going to be thinking about it after we do this podcast. And in a year from now, yeah, that exact scenario is going to occur. Fuck.
Yep. It's fine. It's fine.
All
Shudder's
right,
the best one.
Can't wait to hear about it. In a year.
So I watched this movie called Knives and Skin with Jordan last week. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
All right. So it's new. It came out on DVD or Blu-ray like I don't know, a couple weeks ago, since quarantine started. And it is super good if you're into like Twin Peaks and like that kind of Lynchian shit. But it's like it's real neon soaked. Kind of a slow burn, great soundtrack, and it's just like real surreal the whole time. And it's pretty fucking solid.
Nice.
And we followed that up when we watched this movie called Wounds. It was on Hulu. Yeah, so if you want to watch it.
Knives and Skin and Wounds.
Yep. It was appropriate.
Yep, it checks out. That's full circle.
And check.
That's
No.
what would happen.
But Wounds was not as good. And it's Army Hammer, and it's an interesting, weird movie. It's a weird fucking movie. He like gets
Again, the same kind of thing. Is it the same director or what is it?
different director. It's like
Just
a
the same kind of style.
no, not even a little bit. He just like finds a
okay.
phone at a bar. And then weird shit starts happening to him, and he becomes part of this like ritual. This like demon from another dimension starts like terrorizing him and like trying to take over his body so it can like murder people and stuff. And it's
So it's Spawn.
kinda, but it's less good. It's not terrible.
It's worse than Spawn.
It's worse than Spawn. Spawn was trying for something, man. This movie didn't know what the fuck it was doing.
Have you guys
It wasn't
seen,
terrible,
Have you guys seen Swallow?
Yes.
I mean,
I
never mind. No,
I haven't seen it. I've seen the trailers for it. It looks good. But it's about like a woman. She's like, I guess, dating up or marrying up, I guess, in society, and like it's one of those kind of suspense movies where like psychological suspense movies where she's everything's supposed to be so prim and proper anyway. She finds control in swallowing things, like swallowing marbles, but then also like nails and like screws and like fucking like bigger shit. Yeah, dude. And then like recovering it, and it's all very like fucking so perfect and like American Psycho, like a tray with like the marbles that she's swallowed and shit out and cleaned, and or not even cleaned, just swallowed and fucking put back on the thing, like cleaned, wiped the
That's
poo
wild.
off of. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's fucking. Does anyone have to do anything before we jump into this?
Nope. I'm just gonna shit all over my mic.
Well, right on. Let's talk about The Color Out of Space.
The Color Purple.
Oh yeah. Dan watched the wrong film.
Yeah.
And
So I'm
2
a
hours
little
before.
Yeah, a little ill prepared. I thought we were talking about The Color Purple. We're not.
I would love if that was the working title, like while they were making it.
The color.
And
But like they already,
Right at
they
the
already
end.
had the title.
Right at the end, somebody like rushed in. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 we can't print yet. Hold up." Guys, I got bad news.
I would love to think that some dad saw this in the theater and he was like, what was that film, like back at the dinner table, a week later? What was that film me and you saw the other week? Fucking Color Purple with Nicolas Cage. like grandma's there and she's like, what?
Because it
Fantastic.
sounds like a nightmare when you say The Color Purple with Nicolas Cage. It's that would be a nightmare movie.
Oh my God. If it was literally just the same story as the actual
As
color,
the Color
color
It'd be
purple.
such a problematic movie.
Oh God. He'd still get an Oscar though.
Maybe.
Just kidding.
You can't
I'm
deny
just
his
kidding, I'm
genius
just
in
kidding.
leaving Las Vegas.
Good God. Fuck. What the fuck? Hell no. Good Lord. All right. Color Out of Space came out this year, which is 2020. All right. Just to date this podcast.
It's technically a 2019
director?
movie.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. 2019, 2020, whatever. Fuck it. We all watched it in 2020 and nobody,
That's
Not
when it
many
became
people
available.
probably- that's when it became available. It came out probably to small theaters in 2019 or what? Or it was, what are you saying, Chase?
Yeah, it came out to small theaters in 2019, at the end of 2019.
Yeah. I
It
thought
was
it
a
came out
limited
2019.
release. Yeah.
It's H.P. Lovecraft, adapted story from 1927 and directed by Richard Stanley, who hasn't directed a film in a while. And
20 years.
I think if you haven't directed a film in a while, then you should probably do a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation just to get your legs.
What's he done? What's
Sea
what,
legs.
what,
I just gotta
what
get
are
my
what
sea
are what are
legs.
some what are some credits for old Rich Stan Lee?
He did one of my personal favorite late night 90s midnight flicks, which is Hardware.
Hardware.
Which I haven't seen, but
It's
Hardware.
pretty
it
great.
looks.
If you
The clips that I have seen look very fun.
It's got Iggy Pop in it and fucking Lemmy from fucking Motorhead, and it's badass.
Sit
movie.
about.
Oh yeah, that's very weird.
It's like set in the future, like apocalypse style, kind of like Fallout-ishy looking aesthetics. $3 Iggy Pop plays like a 3 Dog character, if you're familiar with Fallout 3. He's like a radio DJ or whatever. But then Dylan McDermott, he's like a wanderer in the desert, and he is like a junker and sells shit for money and stuff. And so he like ends up acquiring this experimental AI robot that somebody found in the desert, and he takes it back to his girlfriend's place. And then it turns out the thing is like a super sentient, self-building, self-healing AI that's directive. It was built by the government to wipe out the population on Earth. So to help with population control, and then it kind of comes to life inside of her apartment, and then the whole movie is them trying to fight it. And then it's fucking badass.
Fucking.
It's
That
just
sounds sick.
murdery as
What
fuck. Yeah, it's badass.
What is it again? What is it called?
Hardware.
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 And when you said there was 95?
Oh no, it's like 90, 91. It might even be an 80s movie. I'd have to look. But it is, I think I want to say it's his first movie. Yeah, it's 1990 is when it came out.
I mean, so is this kind of his venue, his wheelhouse, like horror / apocalypse shit?
Yeah, for the most part. It's like horror, sci-fi, apocalyptic shit. I've not seen any of his other movies, so I've not seen Dust Devil or Brave. And I've listened to many a podcast about The Island of Dr. Moreau, which was the last movie he technically directed, even though he kind of quit in the middle of it. And someone else finished directing it. he like had a breakdown in the middle and like 2 weeks into making it, and Marlon Brando was being like a crazy person. So Richard Stanley dressed up like an ape, which was one of like there's a bunch of apes in the movie. He just put on a monkey suit, and then he would just stand with the extras and not direct people, and then just like make the crew shoot the movie. And he would, when people asked him questions, he would just act like a monkey.
Oh no!
And like that's just one of the many bizarre stories that happens.
Oh
on that
no!
movie.
But also like, oh yeah, like if you're quitting a job, like it's also like a great job quitting story. Like, you know, that would go around Reddit big time. Like I just dressed up in a monkey suit and grunted at my like coworkers.
At Val Kilmer and
Yeah.
Marlon Brando.
But it probably wasn't like him being funny. It was probably like him going a little.
Oh
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I mean, it
everybody
was
went
probably
crazy
him
in that
losing his
movie.
mind, but yeah.
Yeah. And that movie apparently is insane.
Marlon Brando is pretty unstable, and at that time was probably still unstable, and like it probably wasn't fun.
No,
it probably
no,
wasn't
no,
a good
no.
time.
It was one of Marlon Brando's last movies, and he was very unstable when they made it. He like wouldn't read the lines, and he just did his own thing and just made shit up. It's like
Yeah,
insane.
and you're like, fuck my life. Like what? Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
They
Good
reference
times.
it
Good
kind
times.
of in this movie. There's a shot where Nicolas Cage puts on that Marlon Brando movie, which is totally a nod to the fact that Richard Stanley worked with Marlon Brando, and that
Oh, I
he
didn't
hasn't made a
remember
movie
that.
since then.
I like that. I like that nod. I didn't recognize it.
Didn't notice the nod.
Didn't notice the nod, man. Well, let's talk about like H.P. Lovecraft. Like this is like, so every H.P. Lovecraft film pretty much is like a B horror, like the most fucking aware film that it's B horror almost. Like every film I've ever watched, which I haven't seen a lot of them. There's very, very many. But like Castle Freak and Reanimator and like From Beyond. And then I don't know if Society is or not, but if it's not an H.P. Lovecraft thing, then it definitely draws heavily from it anyway.
Have you guys seen
Yeah.
the Void? Have you guys seen the Void? I mean, I don't think it's not directly from H.P. Lovecraft, but it's like H.P.
Super inspired.
Lovecraft-esque. Yeah.
I feel like I have seen the Void.
We watched
Yeah,
it together, Alan.
It's on Netflix.
can't remember what
it's
it's
like
about.
the dude.
It's all those
They're in the
people-
hospital, and the cultists like show up all around the hospital, like in the middle
Oh,
of nowhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that fucking film! Jesus Christ!
I mean, it was fun.
I didn't like that fucking film.
It had
Dude,
some
that's
good
like-
practical effects in it, but it was like kind of a slog.
Dude, that's like kind of the gamble I feel like you get with H.P. Lovecraft, and it's not his fault, obviously. It's just like everyone who's into H.P. Lovecraft, you get a little like taste of it here and there sometimes. Like you know the feeling of an H.P. Lovecraft movie most of the time, but the
Tentacles.
other times,
Tentacles
like,
is the feel. It's the feel of
yeah,
tentacles.
tentacles is very big, and like things like morphing together, like the Thing, like
Yeah.
kind of that's very in there.
I'm pretty sure the thing is based on an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah, I mean,
As well.
I mean,
I went-
it's
I
like
went-
fucking
I
little
went down.
organism in Antarctica. It's got a lot of the.
Oh, is it?
two of the things.
It is not
That's
based on an
two
H.P.
things to
Lovecraft
do.
story, but it is Lovecraftian for sure.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Ish.
Have you guys ever played Bloodborne? That is like probably one of the best Lovecraftian things I've ever like forms of media I've ever like played or watched.
No, I've not.
It is excellent if you feel like playing
It's
a video game.
What is it called again?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. I think I have heard of it. Do you have a sword?
You have you can
Do you have a
choose
sword?
different weapons.
Do you have a
and
sword in
other
this video
weapons.
game? Is this a video game with a sword?
Can you tell me if there's a sword?
There's an axe. There's definitely a sword.
Do you
there's
see your
multiple
character
weapons.
have hands?
I think I remember something about a castle.
So you guys have actually read the short story. I started the short story, but because of poor time management skills, I have not finished reading the story. And by that I mean I started it like 20 minutes before we started doing this, and I also had to make dinner. But
Yeah.
anyway, tell us about the short story if you want.
So I'll give you a quick synopsis of like the story. Pretty much both stories. This could be a synopsis for the book and the adaptation book, the 5-page book, and so it's. This cosmic and colorful nightmare tells the story of a meteorite crashing outside the Gardner family's farmhouse. An alien presence of sorts begins to contaminate the water, soil, flora, and fauna in the area, eventually affecting the Gardner's family's intentions and warping their thoughts. This being traps them within a psychedelic hell that reshapes their minds as well as their anatomy. In some cases,
Fuck yeah.
in the best cases, it does. Fuck yeah! So that's pretty much it. That's the broad lines, and
It's actually a pretty decent little story.
it is.
Took me about an hour.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's like Lovecraft. It's just like, oh my god, it's a lot of words you're using there, bud. Like you could have said
like
that.
that.
And,
I definitely had to look up some shit.
What?
It was nice.
Well, no,
though.
no, it's not even that-
It was.
yeah, I'm not even saying you have to look up as much, but just like he uses like 3 times the words necessary that you're just like, oh my god, how long is this sentence?
Oh, I like. Well, out of all the Lovecraft things I've read, it was one of the tamer when it comes to that, like to insanely long sentence structures.
It is.
I kind
but
of like some of the
still.
words he chooses. It kind of paints like a tone. You know, it's like tonal wordplay.
He literally had a reference to like lighting in paintings. That's a word that I had to like look up. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this fucking word? And it was like talking about lighting inside of like a certain time period of painting
talking
or
about-
whatever. And I was like,
Churroscuro.
yeah. And I'm like, of course Chase knows that. He's fucking dating an artist.
It's also a term in film. Chiaroscuro lighting is German expressionism.
well, then-
it's a film term as well.
Beautiful.
Just saying.
Yeah, I didn't know. Also, reading this and thinking about someone reading this in 1927 and just being scared as shit.
Oh yeah.
And also like not really knowing because he's got like pretty like scientific like chemicals and shit like that. And I feel like jargon, just a bunch of jargon. He's talking about test tubes, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I'm talking about for people reading it. They're like, what is this? Oh my
No,
god.
I know. It must have been so fucking highbrow and almost like nerdy in a sense to some people, but I don't know. I feel like it would scare the shit out of me if I was just some fucking kid in 1927.
Definitely.
I'm like but I'd be like, I need to escape to a different apocalypse because this one sucks.
I think that would have scared me in the 90s if I'd read it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. I would
yeah.
literally fall asleep. I would read it and fall asleep after 2 paragraphs. I'd be like, fuck
I feel like
this.
I'd have to have had it read to me,
Yeah,
and I probably
almost
still
had
would have fallen
Siri-
asleep.
A robot. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever like think about if I just highlight this entire fucking paragraph and
I can just
my
make
computer
Siri-
will read it to me, and then it's just you're like, I'm not gonna do it. I'll just be like, I fucking hate robots. Please shut up. But anyway, so in the short story, just a couple things I'd like to point out. And, Chase, you read it as well, so whatever you want to point out, go for it. Pretty much, the narrator is like the surveyor, like the guy who's like surveying the water. And Chase, you said he was like something else as well. They combined like a couple characters, right?
So like in the story, the framework of the story is a guy comes to Arkham, like at some point in the story he says it's been nearly half a century. So and he says that most of the stuff takes place in the 80s, which I assume he's referring to the 1880s. So if it was written in,
I laughed out loud.
yeah. So it was written in what you said, 27. So it was somewhere in
1927.
the 40-year range has passed since the events have taken place. So it's like this surveyor who's like works for the water company, and they're going to create this reservoir out of the area where all the shit happens in the forest and stuff. comes to survey the land, and then he's like describing how creepy everything is and stuff, and then he keeps hearing about this thing referred to as the strange days from the townspeople, and they tell him the only person who will really talk to about it is this guy Ami. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he lived near
Pretty
the
much
property.
Ezra's character.
Cheech.
Yes, so he's pretty much Ezra's character from the movie.
Oh, okay.
But he was like
Tommy Chong.
Yeah, he's like some kind of groundskeeper. And so the surveyor goes to him, he gets the story recounted to him, and then the surveyor recounts the story to the reader of the story, of the short. And in the movie, though, instead of it taking place 40 years later with the surveyor coming and hearing the story from someone who's then he recounts the story to you, they combined him with Ami, the surveyor with Ami, kind of, and he experiences the story. He's there for the events and witnesses it like Ami does in the short story.
Which I don't necessarily agree is a good decision.
It's not a terrible decision, but it's an odd one.
How it was made in the film, literally the surveyor in the film, I thought was the weakest part. I was like, why is he?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No.
It literally should have just been mentioned that like the water is being contaminated by whatever like scientists had came through, and then not mentioned again because we got it.
Yeah.
No,
And then just continue the fucking story.
Well,
Because I was the whole time I was like, this guy does not need to be. It's felt so forced for no reason.
They're trying
Yeah.
to keep that connection to the original short story, which it was a mistake ultimately, because the movie forgets about that character for the middle hour, and he shows up at the very end. It's like the last time you see him, I want to say, is he like shines the flashlight and he gets the weird phone call and the radio turns on, and then we don't see him again until the climax of the movie. And it's like, and the movie starts with him narrating and ends with him narrating, so you would think that the movie should be from his point of view, but after you get through the first scene, it turns into Lavenia's point of view until the climax of the movie, and it's just a weird jumble of like switching perspectives with characters and stuff.
There's also no like no Wiccan, no like witchcraft in the original story,
Which is a
And
weird
there's not even
inclusion.
There's not even a daughter. Okay, the witchcraft is another thing that while I was watching it, I was like, I don't see how this is necessary to the story.
Yeah.
Like, in the end, it didn't really like do anything.
Well, it ended up being like the witchcraft had no power at all, and she just carved herself up, and then somehow she carved that symbol from the Necronomicon into her forehead, and then when you see it, like when Ward Phillips sees her at the very end, and it goes into her forehead, that shape is like some kind of like object or like formation in an alien like landscape planet, which is like, I don't know why the fuck we went there with it. It was like, it was like how those two things weren't connected. It's like witchcraft from Earth and space aliens, and somehow it crosses paths with, it was stupid.
It was very. I didn't enjoy the witchcraft, and now I see that it wasn't ever part of it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was like
That's very odd.
At the very beginning when I first saw it, I thought that must have been some carryover from the book of like, him just like mentioning witchcraft, because it's like, it's funny if she believes in witchcraft, but then that's not even magic that's up. Like, that's not even the fucking crazy shit that's going on. It's something else.
But then
it wasn't in the book at all.
The only mention of witchcraft in the book is that there were tales of witches and witch trials from the area.
No, I read the first like half of the story. I just didn't end up getting to finish it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just saying that's the only definitive like connection to the witchcraft that I can see from the original story.
Yeah, I mean, that's like there's they didn't really mention it much.
Yeah.
Doesn't do much for the plot. Don't fucking keep it in, Richard Stanley, you piece of shit. I'm just kidding.
Richard, what are you thinking?
She
would've been
looks like
cool.
Raven from Teen Titans at one point.
Yeah. It would have been cool if the witchcraft had come to play some sort of role, like when she cast the spell at the end, but it just like doesn't. I mean, she does that shit.
Doesn't at all.
And yeah, the thing just keeps going. So it was just a way for that Ward Phillips guy to like wander upon her and for their characters to meet. But then honestly, you don't even need that character. You could frame it the exact same way as the story. A guy shows up to town, he meets Ezra or Ami, and then he tells the story. And you could, do it that way, and then the rest of the movie can play out, and it probably would be stronger for it.
Yeah. Another part of the story is when like Nathan begins to like see himself aging. In the book, it really just kind of mentions him that like he like is literally like noticing how much he's aging. But in the movie, I didn't get that vibe. I was just like, he's turning into like some scaly like fucking like he's turning into like a dead
reptile
like,
man. Yeah,
of.
He's like he's like rotting.
he's got a carapace. He's getting a carapace.
Yeah, he's cracking. He's just looking. He's like, whoa. Got that fucking Nicolas Cage pout going on.
Oh man, when like Nick really starts to break through, like when he starts to go crazy and like Nicolas Cage starts to come out, like that vein that runs through all of his acting performances starts to come out. You're just like, oh, there he is. There's the boy.
Here we are. Here
Finally.
we are.
That's what we all showed up for.
Oh yeah, do you?
I thought
Holy
one
shit.
really interesting part of the short story. It was just like one sentence, but it was talking about how Nathan began to like notice the animal tracks in the snow, and how they were like peculiar and like misarranged. And I thought that was like a cool little like creepy tidbit. I don't know if it would translate to film very well, but it did me wonders in the story.
Oh, it
I
was
like that's awesome.
That's one of the best parts. I like that, and when
I
it was
think
describing, when it's describing his wife going insane and how she stops speaking sentences with nouns and she only speaks sentences with verbs and pronouns, I was like, oh, that's creepy. When you think about like what a sentence with only verbs and pronouns sounds like.
All that could work really well. Like, in fact, I think the footprints in the snow, noticing the changes, could work really well if they hadn't have, like, that's the thing, is they shortened it up. Like, in the short story, I know it takes place over a much longer period of time. Like, them
like
them
2
go,
years.
everything getting all wiggity. But in the movie, it happens over like a couple of days. It just fucking balls to the wall. But yeah, like, because if they had elongated like that, they could have had him, out hunting like in the regular snow and show him looking at regular deer tracks and shit, and then all of a sudden, hey, why do these deer have like 18 legs?
Yeah, or they're just like weird looking and stuff. Because the story does something cool. It brings that line back at the end, and it says that he's talking about how it seems to spread an inch every year. And that there are reports of like animal tracks being weird in the snow have started coming out from like surrounding areas, and it's like really slowly just spreading. And it's like kind of ends on that note of like, I can't wait for them to flood this place. But like it seems to be, it will never like go away, and it's like I'm never going to drink that water. And it's like it's starting to happen to other people with the tracks in the snow and stuff. So right there, built in the story, is a great like recurring image you can come back to. You can start with the beginning of him, like you could start it in the snow and he sees the tracks and they're normal. Then he sees them when things start to get weird and they're weird. And then at the very end, you show the tracks for other people in like further away, and they're starting to get weird after the events of everything's happened, and they're like,
and now you got sequels.
Well, I mean, then you got like this foreboding terror that things are inching outwards and stuff. It's all in the story.
There's a lot of ways, honestly, that you could portray that as well. Like, I think that's a fantastic idea. That would have been really cool. That actually would have been fantastic.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they had to, cut out for the time frame and everything, for cutting it down to like a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a film. It's a fucking movie. Things happen. Things get changed around.
But some of these are
You got your
conscious choices that
Of
they
course.
didn't have to be changed. Like the story could still take
Yeah.
place over 2 years. It didn't have to be in 2 days, you know, but it did. In I mean, I don't know why they would want to change that other than to try and like amp it up faster, I guess. But the movie still is like plods along and crazy shit doesn't start happening until an hour and a half into it. So like
Yeah.
if you're going to take that long.
I was waiting. I was really waiting for the cool thing. And when we go through it, I'll tell you when I wrote down, thank God a cool thing happened.
Yeah.
But another thing that I thought was interesting reading it was like Miss Gardner again, like frightening her children, and like how Nahum just decides to lock her in the attic instead of her like going away to the asylum.
Yeah.
And Nathan gets it says that he got the mad notion that she was slightly luminous in the dark. And I
Yeah.
like thinking about that. Like how they did it with the mother in the movie is actually probably one of my favorite parts. But how they do it in the short story is actually really nice too, where she's just like luminous in the attic, like just like locking her up. She's fucking crazy. And she's like speaking to eventually the youngest son, who's Jack in the film. He starts going a little like fucking nuts, and they lock him in the other room in the attic, and then both of them are like screaming at each other just upstairs in the attic from across the hallway. And like the other son in the story says that he hears them like speaking
another
some
language.
terrible alien language to each other. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool too. That sounds great.
And so it, like, I agree with you. That all sounds fucking awesome. And I like what they did in the movie with it, where they like fucking,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we'll talk about it, but like, I like what they did in the movie with it, but I wouldn't mind seeing a version that's more faithful to the story and shows that from the story, like depicts that shit. And like lets the people start slowly glowing, and then they start fucking screaming ancient language at each other and shit. And like I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was pretty great. Pretty fantastic.
Pretty
I
fantastic.
also like the role of Tommy Chong's character in the short story. He wasn't as like crazy. He was like kind of like a down home, like trustworthy guy who just like lived by like with him and his wife. And I liked his perspective in the story, the short story, more than in the film as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Him in the film is bizarre.
I think there's a lot of opportunities in the short story, like Nicolas Cage's whole like end monologue, but like just Nahum, like in the short story, like it's fucking great. And if you had Nicolas Cage, it would be great. It would be a fantastic scene.
Yeah.
And also him, when he finds out that his son died in the attic, and he didn't even find a whole body, he just found like remnants. And then like, yeah, he's just like, what the fuck? And then he goes to Ezra's place and just like consoles with them, and they're like trying to console him, but they're also just like terrified and just like, what the fuck, like what's happening, like we need to distance ourselves from this family. I love that. I think that could be really good too. Which is interesting that this is kind of supposed to be like a family drama, but with them like pulling in the surveyor, like the water surveyor who like fucking like gets kind of romantic with the witch. It's just like, just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Like it could be so much better without that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was like my least favorite part.
Well, they switched enough stuff from the story that it's like, yeah, you can definitely tone down the surveyor some more. Like you don't need him to tell this story.
Yeah.
It's so true.
You could literally
God damn
just
it.
cut that character completely out. Introduce you could have introduced the girl at the beginning, like they do, the opening scene where she's doing the magic on the lake. You don't even have to cut the magic out. You could have her doing magic on the lake. because it reveals the whole thing about the cancer with the mom and like the family drama stuff that's going on, and then just have her go back home and then have the movie play out as it does and completely remove the Ward Phillips character, and it works better. It works way better.
Yeah.
I guess you just need that character to witness it. You need the witness. So, but like if they're going to do that, just use Tommy Chung. You didn't need to make him a fucking hippie that can like understand what's happening, and have some kind of prescient knowledge of it.
They're underground. I can hear them.
What's out there's in
He felt like
man.
a real fucking like Stephen Kingy character to me. Like the Tommy Chong, just like the old Indian wise man.
Totally, dude.
God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, they fucked that character up. That character could have been pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Did you guys notice how at the very end, Ward Phillips is smoking a joint after everything when he's standing on the reservoir? Because I guess they're trying to make the connection that Tommy Chong was aware of everything that was happening because he was stoned the whole time.
Okay. The end was literally the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. The end of the film, I was like, fuck this. What did I write? I wrote, the end is so lame. Damn.
You mean the end, like, post the crazy shit, right? Like, the reservoir part where he's narrating?
Literally the end, like the last scene of the film.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? Are we in like it seemed like there should have been like a helicopter like going around him, like sweeping like camera. And it's like, well, I guess that's just how life goes. And he's like, it's like, what the fuck? They're like,
Puts
like
on some sunglasses.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck kind of ending are we doing right now?
It's like the end of the Matrix.
Weird.
He just puts his glasses on and flies away.
Doesn't make any sense. It's like, was he an alien?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh.
So yeah, the end was fucking terrible. Good God. Everything moved really fast in this film, honestly. The fucking, oh man.
Yeah, a lot happens.
It moved. Everything moves so fast. They really could have done with changing the plot up a little bit. But I bet they filmed a lot and then cut quite a bit as well.
I'm sure. It feels like there's probably a lot of stuff that hit the cutting room floor. Not that it's incoherent or anything, but like I will give it that. It is a coherent movie, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Like I would recommend it to people. But
No,
yeah, I feel like there's a lot that got cut out.
Let's kind of go through the film and maybe talk about, the performances and like effects, like just kind of as we go through the film.
Okay.
Something like that. I literally just want to jump to the fucking attic scene, but we can talk about
I know. I'm already thinking about it. Like literally the one thing I wrote down during the movie was too little too late on the execution.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. Dude, Nicolas Cage, like right when he's fucking introduced, is just hamming it the fuck up though. Like when he's just on the porch, like talking to his wife, I'm just like, oh my fucking God. This is great.
He's
like,
a
this
ham,
is
man.
why I'm watching this film.
I love when he serves the cassoulet and she's just like saying how much she wants McDonald's or whatever. And he's like, but everybody loves ducks. It's like, what?
Dude, that
at
was
the end of dinner. And he's like, time for you to do the dishes.
Oh.
Yeah, they're so fun. They're such a fun family.
Yeah,
Sorry,
until
Dan, I didn't mean to cut you
gets
off there.
too real. Oh no. I was like, that's so strange that like, yeah, the fucking Wiccan daughter's like, I want goddamn McDonald's. Like what?
Right?
What? We're serving you fucking like weird animal.
Dude,
you don't want weird
Fuck
animal?
the daughter. I fucking
You're a
That cassoulet, by the way, looked awesome. And then they're all talking about, like, it's not that bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? Cassoulet takes 3 days to make. It's not easy.
Yeah, but he makes it all the fucking time, Chase. You don't understand. God. When's the first time you kind of see like the color, like kind of like spirit, like when he's like flashing the flashlight or whatever, he's like looking in the woods at night and you see like it's like almost like the color is like a ghost. It's like
Yeah,
like
it's like
going by.
it's
You're
like a
"What? What?"
it's like a lost smoke monster.
Yeah,
Okay, nothing.
Yeah, the
nothing. I
color-
get nothing back.
the color. sorry. I was going along with the bit. I was in the bit with you. I didn't want to break character by laughing at your hilarious.
I know it was
joke.
so good. It was so
Sorry.
good. I wrote it down just now.
The part that I didn't like fully. What is this kid Jack? The Jack character? What is he in? Is he in?
He's in Haunting of Hill House.
That's what I thought. He's the youngest in that.
Yeah, he's Luke.
He doesn't look like he's grown at all since that was filmed.
I think he filmed them right next to each other in terms of time.
Oh fuck. So now he probably looks like a mongoloid. He's going through puberty.
He's
And,
rapidly approaching puberty.
Yeah, he's not going to get a lot of work unless he
Yep,
sprouts
that's it.
into a ripe young individual. He's kind of at the end of the line right here.
Dude, they take off his glasses. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm just telling you, that little 8-year-old boy
Yikes.
looks. I'm gonna stop.
What the fuck? He looks like he would play you like in a movie, like as a young Dan.
Yeah, I know.
He's
All I'm
Baby
saying
Dan and
is,
down the road.
would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
As a young boy, no.
Are you suggesting that
yes.
will we fuck the kid?
Would you? Hey guys, you wouldn't? Are you saying you wouldn't go back in time and molest me? I'm offended.
If I had a time machine, first thing I'd do is go back, touch your little tips.
Thank
You
you.
know,
And then
just
I'd kill
play
Hitler.
with your knob.
First,
and then-
first I'd fucking fondle
Yeah,
your
and
balls,
then
and then I'd kill Hitler. Thank you, guys. I appreciate. That's what real friends do. All right. It's called a self-esteem boost. That's what kids get when they get molested
We're just
as
gonna go
children,
back-
right?
back-
Self-esteem boost.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. They become more complex people.
Let me ask you this though: would you kill Hitler immediately, or would you wait till like he had his uprising and then you had the chance to take him down, like in the biggest, like take down everyone who already started following him?
And then-
or is
and
that
then
a
you-
worse route?
And then you stay there as future man hero and get all the like 1940s puss you want. Is that what you're saying? But then you end up fucking your own grandmother, and it's
I
like this
wasn't going
whole
that
fucking.
route.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But
Sorry.
but you would.
I'm gonna-
Oh, and then it's Back to the Future.
Yeah.
You know what I found out about Back to the Future while we're still on this digression? I found out that Crispin Glover is not even in the sequel. That they. Did you guys know about this?
He's just
he was
digitally.
I think so.
recast and kind of like manipulated, like to seem like it was Crispin Glover in the film, but it wasn't him at all. And he like fucking like sued the shit out of them and like was
That's
like pissed
crazy.
for it. He's still pissed. I just saw an interview with him this year and he is pissed as fuck. He's still so mad because
That's
like
crazy.
people will come up to him. People will come up to him. That's why he doesn't. That's why he doesn't go to like any like Comic-Con shit with them or like anything like that where they like reunion, Back to the Future, like people. He doesn't even fucking go because anyone who's like thinks that it's him in the second film, he's like insulted.
Just punch
you
him
guys seen
square in
the-
the teeth.
Have you guys seen the Friday the 13th movie that he's in?
No.
I don't think so. Maybe I have though, and I
It's
just
part 4.
Forgot,
It's
'cause-
it's so good. He's so good in it.
I love him. Anyway, the Jack character, the little guy, that's what I was talking about. he when he like just starts like not hearing shit and stuff, like I was really expecting more of a payoff from like his character as well. Like when they started doing like weird shit, it seemed like to be like he just kind of bounced back. and there wasn't a lot of like concrete like what's happening, which I can understand from an H.P. Lovecraft kind of thing. It's like fucking with everyone's minds, whoa. But like narratively, I was like, a lot of times I was just like, are things just happening and there's no definition or like what the fuck is going on?
There's it's like what sitting in the well talking to his quote unquote friends, and then but there's no payoff on that. It's just like he's talking to someone from the well, but no one else can hear it, and then there's nothing that comes out of the well that has any semblance of like a voice. It's just a whistling thing.
Well, no, but then the oldest brother does like get zapped from inside of the well. There's something inside of the well that zaps him, like so some form of like that, huh?
But he thinks it's the dog. He's like brought to the well by the dog.
Yeah.
Well, I think the well thing coincides with like the things being underground. Like Ezra can hear the things underground. It's kind of the same fucking thing there, but it's not like super fucking clear or great.
I don't know that whistling whenever they clued into whenever they clued into Jack, like the whistling. Yeah. I don't know how y'all speakers are, but mine are really nice, and that shit was effective because I was just like, my fucking brain, oh my god. Every time they like went into Jack's brain and it did the fucking high pitched, like you just got hit with a fucking flashbang.
I guess it didn't affect me very, very much.
No, I don't know. Yeah, because I felt really strongly about like the Jack scenes. Like I thought those were, I don't know, very, very effective. Because just from that goddamn whistle, like it really put me into just like the insanity. I was just like, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna flip my TV over.
The whistle didn't bother. I like the whistle, but I guess the part that I'm thinking of is when Ward walks up to him and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm talking to my friends." And he's like, "Okay." And he goes to walk away, and then the kid just starts giggling. And I was like, "There's." If he's hearing a whistle, why is he like speaking with friends and then laughing and all that shit? Because that's what didn't have any payoff. Like him sitting in front of the well and like listening to something is fine, but and then
it's not a clear fucking thing that's happening narratively. It's just like what?
I guess it doesn't matter when you're talking about like it's a bunch of weird shit happening and they're all going insane, like, and it's kind of unclear where the source of anything is coming from. But that was the one part with the well that I was kind of like, what?
It's like Tommy Chong said, it's coming from inside.
What's
inside
out there
and now it's in here.
Yeah, God damn it. I think there's just so much, there's better way to do this. But like they lean into that fucking weirdo fucking, it's like almost like it also has Nicolas Cage. So it's like, they're like, we're invincible. Like whatever movie we make, it'll be a Nicolas Cage film. So it's fine. It's H.P. Lovecraft and Nicolas Cage. Who's going to fault us?
Yeah, you can't go over the top with H.P. Lovecraft plus Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it's kind of just do whatever.
There is no ceiling.
Do whatever.
Yeah.
The first part that I actually kind of enjoyed, I really enjoyed the mother in this. She was great. She's a very good actor. I didn't enjoy like every plot point that they went through, but when she first is like chopping and you're just waiting for her to like chop off something, it's like, is it going to be something? Are they gonna like tease you? And then it's like, nope. She just cuts off her fingers and she's like, dinner's ready, and like holds up her fingers. I was totally about that. I was like, yeah, that's good. I like that.
I like that too.
God, that's like a scene you feel in your dick. Like when she fucking chopped, you're just like, oh God, just like in the very core of you, which is your dick. You fucking just. Oh, it's visceral. Oh, it's so much.
Yeah. It's one of the most visceral parts of the movie when she chops those fingers off. Because I could feel it, man. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Because you've been waiting for it for so long. Like she chops like 3 carrots before she gets to it, and you're just like the whole time it just keeps cutting back to her, and she's just, oh no, she's fine, she's fucking Iron Chef, and then just like nope.
I love that she
Oh my God.
does that and then goes, dinner's ready, and it's very obvious that she's still in the middle of prepping dinner,
Yeah,
which is
right?
why
What the
she's
fuck?
cutting a carrot.
Those were for the salad, Chase. Everything's done.
Good old
What?
nip tuck.
There's one quote. There's one quote of when Ward, the water surveyor, is first talking to. I don't even know when it is. Actually, it doesn't fucking matter. It's what I was just talking about. The scene where Ezra is showing Ward the like recordings of like underground, and he's like, "Oh, it's probably just thermal activity or whatever it is. It's probably just geothermal activity." And it's like the wind trope. It's like it was just the wind, Johnny. I was like, what the fuck? Like they're just like throwing that like line in there. It was so shitty. I fucking hated that character.
Can we
Well,
talk
no,
about
but
how terrible the mayor is in this movie?
Dude, she was like I looked at her and I was like, she's the most B movie shit I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my
no,
life.
she really was. I barely even remembered the mayor, and then I was like, oh wait, no, the part of this that was like, oh right, this is a Lovecraft thing, so it's like Reanimator, and like there's the mayor.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we don't need to do this. We just need to ignore the
So
situation. Everything's
ridiculous.
fine. Like, but a lady.
I love when she comes up to the ground zero when the meteor crashes, and she's like, "What happened, Nathan?" And he's like, "Well, I was in bed with my wife, and it's like, the first time since the operation." And it's like, why are you telling her all of this stuff? Like, what?
Yeah, so fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
And then she goes to leave, and she's just like, "I don't give a shit about this, Nathan. You should have sold me the property when you had the chance." And it was like, what kind of fucking mayor are you? Fucking dismissive
Yeah,
bitch.
Not only but like, what's that backstory? Like, what sold me the
Yeah, what the
property?
fuck
Like,
is
what?
that
What the fuck? Okay, we don't know anything about that or care anything. What does that have to do with shit?
It's nothing to do with the movie.
It's like she just it's like she just really wanted some more lines and was just like trying to create a story for herself. She was just like, yes, this is my breakthrough role.
I'll
This
tell
is
you
my
what it
character's
is.
backstory, and it has to be in the movie.
They shoehorned it into this film story so that it would seem like the family or like Nathan were like being like sort of treated like poorly outside of like the community that they live. So like they're on their own. Because in the short story, they get shunned eventually for just like the notion of like everything dying or being like contaminated like
True.
around their area. So I guarantee you they're just like, just fucking make up some stupid mayor that comes by and like reports, and then it's just like a dick. And it's like, yeah, you're not coming back to my town. You should have fucking. It's just stupid. It's fucking stupid.
No,
bullshit.
it's the most B movie way to handle that subtext.
Yes, it was awful, but I enjoyed it. I was like, Mayor is B movie and out. Like she's the fucking superstar of B.
Yeah.
Right now. It's like, what the fuck?
I was like, she's more at home in a Stuart Gordon movie than she is right here.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm sure they fucking trying to. You try to get that feel, that Stuart Gordon and like Charles Band feel.
Definitely.
Because it's
they
a
definitely
Lovecraft film, and they have the most like popular cult followings of the H.P. Lovecraft.
They're like the only ones who really ever
genre.
attempted to make the movies and did any kind of like had any kind of mild success with it. Reanimator
them.
obviously being like the most famous one, but Dagon from Beyond, all that shit is all Lovecraft.
I'm really hoping this
Let's
will
fucking
this
jump
will
into
lead
some-
to some more H.P. Lovecraft shit, like some like good H.P.
Well,
Lovecraft.
So this is the first movie in a trilogy of H.P. Lovecraft that Richard Stanley is embarking on. So there should be 2 more H.P. Lovecraft adaptations from Richard Stanley coming out soonish.
Wow. Holy
He's gonna
shit!
do
I wonder if it's both.
He's doing the Dunwich Horror next. Which is
I heard him
supposed to-
talking about it. I didn't know if it was. I heard that he had his mind set on it, but I didn't know if he actually was doing it.
Yeah, I think it's been like a greenlit. I'm not sure where they are in production. Obviously, right now, no one's in production for anything. So,
Is it the same?
see.
Spectre? Is it Spectre Vision? Do you know that?
it's whoever did Mandy and produced this movie. I think it's
Okay,
Spectre Vision.
Yeah, I think so too. So it's like fucking Elijah Wood and some other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like two other.
Elijah Wood and his homeboys.
Elijah Wood's just like, I made a lot of money off Lord of the Rings, and I'm gonna make even more money just producing everything that I want.
Yep. He's doing
It's
a
like,
new
fuck
Nightmare on
yeah.
Elm Street,
Oh yeah.
and they're going to bring Robert Englund back to play Freddy.
Is that the guy who did it last time?
It's the guy who's originally played Freddy.
Okay. I honestly didn't hate the guy from Watchmen. I don't know what his fucking name is. The guy who played
Rorschach.
Rorschach.
Yeah.
I didn't.
His name's
I
Rorschach,
didn't hate
right?
him, but the movie wasn't very good.
Oh, the
But,
movie's,
I thought
that
he was
movie's
pretty,
terrible.
I thought he was a pretty good choice though.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good Freddy. He was just like that movie in particular was bad, you know?
Yes, it was. Let's jump straight into like a bunch of fucking shit happens. It happens really fast. But let's jump into like when so Nicolas Cage takes his wife to the doctor to get her fucking fingers sewn back on. And then a bunch of weird, stupid shit happens. He comes back, is the most to Nicolas Cage, like immediately to his children. Like that shit is amazing.
That's some Vampire's Kiss shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say pure
Dude.
Vampire's Kiss.
Which is so, dude, my mouth was like wide open when he started going Vampire's Kiss on us. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, because I remember you mentioning it, Chase.
Yeah.
But like, holy shit, it's like they had to have had this conversation because it's exactly the same.
Oh, we did.
Honestly,
it's in the trivia.
honestly, it as a father, like it played into like the father insanity of just like wanting to be like, oh, are you supposed to do this? Oh, so hey, maybe you should just clean up your fucking shit if that's what I told you to do, huh? Maybe that's what we're supposed to do, yeah. Like it, like
Holy shit.
it fucking like it was. I was just like, oh yeah, I get that. I get how an alien could make you do that, right? Not just like the
like-
mind screeching like psychic chalkboard that has children.
Dude, it's so fun.
He's just used the aliens as an
good
excuse.
old-fashioned concept of teamwork.
Yeah, apparently Richard Stanley's favorite Nicolas Cage movie is Vampire's Kiss, and he told him to do that.
Do that. Hey,
Like,
so
he
if
told
you
him
just
to
do
do
that,
fucking-
that'd be perfect.
God bless him, honestly. Like it makes my life much better as well. So I'm happy that he told him to do that.
Everybody needs a little Vampire's Kiss in their life.
When he's in the car, just fucking you cocksucker, you fuck. Like I was like, yes, fuck yes. This is exactly what I'm. Just need a 10-hour loop of this, and I can go to sleep soundly every night.
That's what you go to bed to. It's just him freaking
Yeah.
out in the car.
It's so good. It fucking fits in with like everything. It just aligns. The stars aligned with Nicolas Cage. I was like, yep, he's still Nicolas Cage. Still doing the same classic shit.
It
It's
really,
perfect.
it really is just a very specific case of like, there's the boy, there he is. Like it's a real there he is, there he is.
Yeah.
So like the alpacas. Okay, that's like pretty much the first time that I was like, I've been waiting for the cool thing, and here's the fucking cool thing.
Oh, when he
No,
goes to
when
kill
they're
the
all-
alpacas?
Yes, when he goes in, they're like, "What the fuck's going on in there?" There's just like lights, like fucking discoing out of the fucking barn. Like, what the fuck? and he's just shotgunning all of them in the face, screaming. Like, I love all the alpacas melted together.
That's so good.
It's just an image that I was waiting for. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but like I was kind of confused and bored and not having a very good time. And then that happened, and I was like, all right, we're here. Here we go. We have arrived.
I mean, before we see because we don't see the alpacas melted together when they run out of the barn, do we? It's just it's when Nick Cage goes.
We see
into
them
the
like without hair, and they're like
Yeah.
they look like they're mutating.
They show the close-ups of them looking like vicious and everything, but they don't show them like all melted together, all fucking Cronenberg and shit yet.
Nope, not yet.
It's when those those disco lights zapping out, fucking melting the mother and son. That's, oh my god. The way they take care of that is just beautiful to me. Like just all the shots like from the POV of the mother and son like melted together, just like gurgling, and they're just like, let's just get him inside the house.
That
It's so
is
fucked
the best
up.
part. That is the fucking best part. It's so fucking. Them being meshed together is the best part of the film because the noises are so fucking creepy coming from them, and like apparently that was like the most uncomfortable as well for the kid who plays that character because he had to be like strapped to that actress's back, like on the back of the couch, and just like they're just like making noises to each other.
That was the most uncomfortable for me. Like just the thought of that was so fucked. Just like her like resorbing him was just like, oh my god. Like as fucking terrible as her chopping her fingers off was, like I don't know, that did something to me. Like I was just like not okay with her resorbing him.
Oh, and then when the
so
Vinya like touches her hair and the hair just like clumps out,
Yeah.
like real slowly and shit. It was like,
it's
oh
disgusting.
god.
But
Dude, when
the other thing
Nicolas
was,
Cage kisses her face and it's just
Ugh.
like strands come out.
well, like it fucking further infects him, and he's just like, all right, you know what, honey? We're gonna fucking go to Greece. Let's fucking have a goddamn fucking Caribbean cruise here, baby. Let's do it.
Greek Isles are the best.
There's like a shimmer of color in the spit when he kisses her too.
Yeah.
It was like, oh god.
No, exactly.
even know how they did that effect.
It was, dude. I was kind of disappointed when they switched over to like those the like FX of like
Oh, yeah.
the mother
Dude,
demon
yes.
creature thing. I was just like, oh man, you did such a great job with the practicals on like the fucking fetal back that now we just go to Spider Bomb.
Spider Bomb's cool,
So
and it's cool when they blow her head off, but it is like
Yeah.
way more disturbing when it's like back child absorbing like monster thing.
I'm happy they did Spider Mom with the fucking kid's head on the back. They could have done it better for sure. But like what they actually created, like if you see the puppet they made, like a lot of it is practical. They just kind of fucked it up with the VFX. And like they did it for a lot. Like the end of the movie, I was just like, am I watching X-Men Dark Phoenix? Like what the fuck is this shit? Like there's just fucking lights fucking flashing everywhere. I'm like, I don't care. I really didn't give a shit about that stuff.
Well, and that was them trying to do the end of the story where the lights shoot out of the well into the sky with like the like unnaturally round circle in the clouds or whatever. But it just did not read like that book. Like in my head, when I read the story, I was like, that is not what it looks like in the movie. Like
it looks like there's no purpose. Like it looks like it's not like going like any specific way. It's just like it's just happening, and you're like, I don't know why it's happening. I don't really get it. Is it just all chaos? Okay, then I don't give a shit.
Yeah. It definitely, like, there seems to be more of a logic to it in the story, and the Britain story, where it, like, slowly drives these people insane and then disintegrates them and, like, absorbs them and absorbs all of the stuff or the area around it until it just all turns gray. And then it shoots back up into space as it gets stronger. But that is not how it reads in the movie.
What about the part in the movie where the fucking sunlight like burns the skin of the mom and son. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, they have to stay out of the sunlight. Like they didn't need that line. Like what the fuck is that? A vampire reference? Like
It's
Yeah,
just
I
like
didn't get that
a
at
way
all.
to get them upstairs to the attic, but
it's like put him in the attic.
Like I said, I didn't finish the short story. So wait, it was supposed to be that the alien being like blasted off back into space.
well, it's like at the end of the short story, Ami, the groundskeeper guy, goes into town and gets some people, and they after he discovers like how like the mom in the attic's disintegrated, and the Nathan or Nahum is like dying basically. He's like dead. So he goes and gets people into town to come look at it, and then when they get there, shit goes crazy outside, and the trees start like moving real frantically without any wind or anything. And then out of the well, like the color comes out, and it shoots into the cosmos and like leaves essentially, and like drains everything out of the surrounding area and kills all the horses and stuff. But then it's like, but something stays behind and stays in the well, and it's like weaker, but it's tethered to the world, but it like basically drained all of the people and the nutrients and all of the life energy of everything organic around it, so it could escape the atmosphere was kind of the implication that I took away from it. But that's not how it reads in the movie.
Yeah, because in the movie, I just thought the shit exploded. I was just like, oh,
Yeah,
boom.
the well serves as a cannon in the short story. Cannonball.
It seemed like they were trying to do that in the movie when Ward comes back from Ezra's and the sheriff's been eaten by the tree, and then which is cool.
Yeah, that was a great part. I liked that.
And then he sees Lavinia and the thing on her forehead glows, and it like shows the alien landscape or whatever. And it seemed to be trying to imply that they're returning back to from whence they came. But I don't know. It wasn't like effective in terms of like actually getting that message across, if that's actually what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah, it wasn't about it. It wasn't about that shit. So a difference that I can understand why they changed it, like from the short story to where like Jack and Teresa get like flashed with like the color and the lightning and like form together, because in the story they're across from each other like in the attic in the rooms, and then after Jack in the short story has died, Ezra's character like goes to check and like finds that like everyone's gone except for just Nathan. And so Ezra's character like goes upstairs to check on the wife, and then it's like they're all formed together. Like Jack is formed with Teresa, and then also like horses. Like that's kind of like where like I guess probably the legs that they used, like they did kind of look like weird little like horse legs on the side, but it was like spider, like kind of buggy. But I think that's what they were trying to do. But it makes more sense because like that would just throw me off even more if I was like, wait, he died and then he got combined with her and horses. I'd be like, what is going on? But I liked it in the short story more. It's still, I was like, that sounds fucking creepy. But it's really not a big part. But it's better in the film that they're like, Nicolas Cage is just gonna shoot her in the face.
Okay, in the movie, Ward and the sheriff finds all of the alpacas that Nicolas Cage shot or whatever. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah.
So how does that happen if he kills them in the barn? How do they find it near the property? Did the fucking things get up and move after he kills them? Or is it implying that he moved them off the property? Like, I didn't understand that part where the sheriff got that.
Well, no,
found
they
the
didn't find the
animal
alpacas.
husks.
They found just like a bunch of other like like it was like just deer and shit, right?
Oh, just
Yeah, I
like
think it
other
was a
animals
deer.
and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just a bunch of
Yeah,
other
it
animals.
was affecting.
It was a hodgepodge of animals.
That's great. Okay, that makes more sense then, because I was like, man, he just killed all those alpacas. How the fuck did they find them?
Yeah, it was a pool of wildlings.
Yeah, no, it was a bunch of, I think it was a bunch of different critters all mashed together.
Yeah, they said there's like a cat and like birds and shit in there.
Yeah. It was all
G-spot.
yeah. Hodgepodge.
When Nicolas Cage is up in the attic, like after I think it's after or before he kisses her, it's like kind of like saying his goodbyes almost to her. He's like, Teresa, baby, I'm really trying to do my best. Shh. I'm like, it's so fucking crazy. He like almost turns into like a Jack Torrance, like for a
Kind of.
second there.
Yeah.
In the end.
Am I wrong? I thought at that point he was that was more of a genuine thing. I thought that
Dude, I couldn't tell. I thought of both. I thought of both ways. I really couldn't tell because he's
I really thought that I'm trying to do my best was like a genuine thing of just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. You're a goddamn homunculoid. Like I gotta fucking like, what do you want me to do? Like you're not a real creature anymore. I gotta blast you in the face. I'm sorry.
He
I love you.
delivers
Bye.
the line. He delivers the line in like such a tongue-in-cheek, like Nicolas Cage way. That's like I don't know what the intention is. Like I can't tell.
I kind of felt like it was a mix of him going crazy, like Jack Torrance style, mixed with him genuinely saying like, I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. And it comes out like it's him being genuine, but at the same time, it's him he's lost his shit. And this is like probably the nail in the coffin for him going crazy is watching his wife that he will always love or whatever, just like fucking form with his youngest son.
Yeah.
Dude, watching the children say goodbye to their mom is like way too quick. Like they like say goodbye so fast.
They're like, bye.
You don't got a lot of time.
They're like, bye, mom. I loved you. Bye. Just walk out.
Lavinia's just like, you're going to take care of her like you took care of the alpacas. And that's about as much emotion as the mom gets at the end there.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's fucking wild.
She's a fucking monster. She's a fucking like a literal monster.
Literal monster.
After that shit, really like Nicolas Cage's performance is the only thing at the end that I really gave a shit about because it was so fucking weird.
It was funny.
And by
like
weird,
fucking,
you mean like absolutely normal by Nick Cage Sanders.
Oh yeah. But the way the camera, like when he was like going back and forth, like stepping through the kitchen, like almost like too late. When he's like too late.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of doing that, but they were fucking with the camera and like how he moved and like it was. I liked that. That was very interesting and also funny. I was like, oh, they made Nicolas Cage like an effect. It's so weird.
It's the Cage
It's the
effect.
weirdest fucking shit. That's when he's going after what's the guy's name? Ward.
surveyor?
Ward like
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
up at
yeah.
the house.
When Ward gets back and
Yeah.
then the family's like ghosts and shit in the house.
Yeah.
That part
Yeah,
is
that
very
shit's
shining.
fucking
That part
strange.
is so shiny.
Yeah, for sure.
So
The thing on the
shiny.
TV, I feel like I was like when I was looking at the TV, I was like, am I colorblind? Am I just not seeing it? Like what's like because I don't see much. I see a couple like triangles. I'm just like, there's not much going on in these ant races to hold me. You know? It did
Yeah.
look interesting. I didn't like it.
Like in the static?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked okay, but there
I think if
definitely
you saw
could
the
have been
color.
more.
If you saw the
Yeah,
if
it
you
was
saw
just the
real
color.
Yeah.
I know. I
It's
saw
color.
the color, but like it it needed to be like stepped up or something.
Oh,
I
definitely.
was like, why do they keep on showing this? Is this important? I can't tell. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to attach myself to in this film.
Well, it's like the
what's
color
going to come
starts to
back?
absorb.
What is not?
I think it's like the color starts to absorb into everything, even the radio waves and the television signal and the Wi-Fi and all that shit. It's like not just
Yeah.
the
Oh
organic
my God.
stuff.
Dude, the Wi-Fi line when he's like, we've been having hard times with the car, the power, the Wi-Fi. Ha, life in the sticks. That was so good.
I like when she gets mad about her like hemorrhaging clients, and she goes down to tell him to fix the dish, and he's real calmly. He's just like, "I looked at it this morning," and then he takes a bite of his tomato, and he goes to full 100, and he just starts fucking he goes. "Rah, rah, rah, rah."
That was the best thing. Is he just kept going like 0 to 60, just like boom. Oh my god, and then just like flapping back out of it. Ooh.
And then back down to 0. He's like, yeah, I'll take a look at that.
He goes, yeah. Well, she
so
goes, I'm going to take a
fucking
nap.
good.
Go fix the fucking dish. And then he just goes, oh, I think that's a great idea, honey. It was like, what?
Yeah. So fucking, I love that shit. That was amazing, dude. Oh my God, that was so fucking good.
Oh, man.
I don't know. That's, yeah. The tornado, the X-Men tornado at the end, not great. The bunker with the cellar, like the cellar bunker. I almost forgot that there was a wine cellar. I was like, wait, how does the guy know that there's a bunker right there? Like
See,
when he
well,
just
that
runs
doesn't
down
make
there.
any sense because he didn't know. He shouldn't have known immediately that there's a cellar that's hidden in the floor. Like, it's not
Yeah,
obvious.
No, not at all. And it's not like he's fucking been there. Like when they were, I don't know. They didn't show it, at least in the movie, that he's
Yeah.
been there and would know about that.
Maybe there was a dinner party sequence that they cut out or something.
Yeah. Need to see some deleted scenes here.
Dan, you've got the Blu-ray. Is there still some deleted scenes?
Hey man, this is that 1795 Blu-ray. It doesn't come with shit. It comes with subtitles.
You spent $20 on a Blu-ray that doesn't have special features?
That's bullshit. I don't believe you.
Special features. Oh no, I got some deleted scenes. I ain't seen them.
All right, we're going to need you to report back. Watch them right now. We'll wait.
I'll let you know. Okay, yeah. Give me a second. Fire up the old PS4.
But I mean, for the most part, that's pretty much the movie.
That's pretty much everything that happens.
That's the fucking movie.
There's like
Did
a
you
couple small
enjoy it?
things. I loved it and hated it at the same time.
So Ward just surviving the explosion. So like you guys were saying, the alien creature is supposed to blast off in the novel. That's not what it plays as in the film at all. To me, it played as someone who had not read the short story and has not read the end of the short story at least. It just seemed like it goddamn exploded. And then like Ward just fucking crawls out from underneath some fucking 2x4s like, oh, all right, well that was a whole deal. Let me write a story about it.
Yeah, in the short
on top
story,
of the dam.
in the short story, they like it's more people than that, and they escape out the back as they realize that they need to get out of there or they're all gonna fucking die. And none of them look back except for Ami or the Ezra character or whatever. And he looks back and sees everything blow up and turn to ash essentially, and like a bright, brilliant light. And it's like as it's it's finally finishing going up the well, and then he sees something come back down, like one little piece of color come back down and land in the well. And then he's the only one who sees that. And then he turns around and they're far away from the property at that point, like far enough away that they can see it like with a view. So in the movie, they end it the same, like the ending is the same, but it's wildly different. It makes way less sense. You know what I mean? It's like he still survives and everything blows up and is turned to ash and is gray. And they're like, you know how the camera pulls out and it's like that circular patch and the trees are around it are all green. I mean, that's kind of how it's implied.
Yeah, but
to
he's
look
in the center
story.
of that, and he somehow survives.
Exactly.
It.
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
what the
And in the
fuck?
book, he's far away. So
His entire character is problematic for the story.
Yeah. No, beginning, it's like at the end, you're just like, that makes the suspension of disbelief real hard on all of this, despite like the like consciousness shifting space alien, like Ezra himself surviving this explosion fucks up the suspension of disbelief. And then at the beginning, you're just like, and all along the way, you're just like, unnecessary. Don't need him. Don't need him for the story.
he just crawls out and picks up the little compass. But they tried to use as like some kind of through line from the beginning, where she's using her compass to cast a
did
spell.
not work at all.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't
through line
work at
for
all.
what? What does it represent? What does it mean? What does
Doesn't
that
mean
mean?
It's like he's carrying the experience with him, I guess. But it's like
of what? The girl who
what?
Fucked up and
the
died.
girl
too?
he watched disintegrate.
Yeah.
The goggles as well. Doesn't the kid put on the goggles when he's in the well?
Yeah.
And it like doesn't make any sense that he would bring them back because it doesn't help. It's
No,
like,
it doesn't make any sense why he pauses to put those on and look down instead of just scrambling to get out of the fucking well before he gets killed.
yeah, it's fucking stupid.
So I guess that's everything. But I have a little trivia here if you guys want to know why everything was magenta or purple.
Yeah, let's know.
Because
It says-
it's the name of the movie, dude. The color purple. What did we watch?
Well, they chose the magenta because it's a color that does not exist from a single wavelength of light. It's part of the color spectrum, and it's an extra spectral color, and it's like basically the optical rods in our eyes detect red and blue, and it creates magenta. And magenta is almost like an optical illusion as a color, so they use that color to represent this like otherworldly color that no one can perceive, which is kind of a cool little like explanation for why they made everything.
I'm just happy they thought about it, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
there was some thought put into it.
It's also like a black lady. Might be up my own ass on this one, but like it's probably closer on the spectrum to like ultraviolet or towards the spectrum
definitely.
of light that we can't see than other colors.
Well, Roy G. Biv, right? So once you get down to violet, it's at the end of the color spectrum. Then you start entering into a light
Ultraviolet
that
light.
isn't. Yeah.
Ultraviolet. Is that what we're watching next? Is that the next movie? Ultraviolet?
Yeah. Ultraviolet,
A
baby.
little bit of the
Charlize
ultraviolence.
Theron.
Ultraviolet is Mila Jokovic. Charlize Theron's
yeah.
Aeon Flux. But I know why
my
you got
bad.
those confused. It's both shitty, both of the same year.
That's a way less sexist and racist version of what I was gonna say is Japan and hot chicks.
Have you guys seen Aeon Flux?
No.
Yeah, but I was too high to remember it.
Yeah, I was a child. I don't remember anything. Maybe we do that one someday.
Dude, I've seen some of the effects from that fucking movie, like, since. And it looks fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it didn't
like,
age well.
bad.
Oh, no, it did not age well.
Like computer level graphics.
Like Windows 98 level grafgraphics, like original
Yeah, it's like,
Doom.
oh no. Oh no.
Oh, I know.
Why
All
does
those
the
blades of
sky look like
grass.
that?
All those little
But so this movie, okay, I honestly enjoy it with the context of the short story as well. But first watch, most of my joy just comes from Nicolas Cage, and even that I feel like was being stretched sometimes. I was like, oh man, they're fucking milking him for everything he's got. So like, I had a good time, but I hope I just want plots to be better. I think is the main takeaway.
It could have used some better writing. It wasn't badly acted or anything, and I would even say some of the directing is good, but it just needed a better script.
No, it played right into that H.P. Lovecraft thing of like it was the source material is good, but like the adaptation's not quite there. But yeah, it was at least a good grade above like all the other B-rated like H.P. Lovecraft stuff. You know, it put in the production value and it looked good. It looked really good. It was fun. It had the shock value. It had the fun up roller coaster that is Nicolas Cage. And it had that like body horror
Yeah,
I
it hit
liked
all
it.
those.
Overall, I enjoyed it. Like it definitely it's not amazing, but I liked it.
I agree with you. I think that's probably where I come down on it. This was the second time I'd seen it, so a lot of the problems were a little bit more glaring, and the pacing issues, which there's a little bit, especially in the first hour or so, really stood out. But I think overall, it hit all of the boxes that I want to check in a good Lovecraft movie. Like I would still prefer if someone was like, "Would you want to watch this or do you want to watch From Beyond?" I'm gonna want to watch From Beyond because that movie's fucking bonkers. And I don't know. It's like that one goes there. I guess this movie didn't go quite as far as I expected it to. I almost wanted more of the body horror, more of the surreal, weird shit. And it played it straight. It tried to play it really straight until the end, and then I think that's probably its biggest problem is that it was trying to play it straight, and then it like had a lot of fucking plot holes and stuff. And like, if you're gonna play an H.P. Lovecraft story straight, then you need to get the story straight and not be full of just like unanswerable questions.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Because they could have had just so much fun and not really played it straight, and it probably would have been great. And if they did it the other way, it would have been great too. But they kind of teetered.
They teetered
in between like it matters, it doesn't matter, it matters. We're just throwing shit at the wall. It's like what? I don't know how to follow this as a viewer.
Sorry,
but hey, that's all right. Still pretty good time.
Oh, I had fun. It was not unenjoyable. And Nicolas Cage was fun to watch.
Watch the fucking film, people. If you've made it this far, hopefully you already watched the film because
spoilers abound.
You did not have a good time. You did not have a good time listening to this probably otherwise.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that happens? Oh, it didn't happen as they said it happened. Oh, man, I missed a lot.
It's only an hour longer than the actual film.
But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. That's our episode.
Thank you.
We're gonna do more of these, so we'll see you around.
Yep.
See you, fuckers.
Bye. See you, fuckers.
Bye, you fucking assholes.
Bye.
Kiss.